Feeling the need to update your kitchen sink?
Heck yeah, we've all been there.
You can get this job done in one weekend and save lots of money just by doing it yourself, and we're going to show you how.
Stick around to the end of the video and we'll show you the other upgrades we made in this room. Hey, I'm Trent.
And I'm Jen, and we are the DIYers behind notinggrace.com, where we help you create a home that you love on a budget that you can live with. Welcome to our basement kitchenette. It did not always look like this.
No, it was kind of a 1980s time capsule before there was some lovely beadboard and that awesome wallpaper and the Pizza Hut floor.
Oh yeah.
We wanted to make this room into something a little more cool, so we wanted a tavern-like place, have a place where we could pop some popcorn, get some drinks, maybe play some pinball.
And it may not seem like it, but the kitchen sink really is the centerpiece of a kitchen. And ours was so lackluster, I think it had been used as a utility sink. And it was in just really poor shape. So we knew we had to replace it. And then when I found this sink from Sinkology, I instantly fell in love.
I knew it was the sink we were going to get because she fell in love with it and said, this is the sink we're going to get.
The hammered finish and the striking color was basically the basis of the design for this entire room. We found this sink and built everything else around it. We purchased the 31-inch Rivera all-in-one kit, which came with the sink, the faucet, the sink strainer, as well as the grid that goes into the bottom to protect the sink.
After discussing the colors, we got to work. First thing to do is to remove all the plumbing. That's something we're comfortable with, simple plumbing under the sink. So we didn't call a professional, but if you're not comfortable doing that, call a professional or do what we did and watch some YouTube videos and figure it out.
It's definitely something we feel confident that you can do yourself. Okay, now the plumbing is out of the way, you have more room to work.
Slide into those cabinets underneath that sink. Take a look up and see what's holding it there. It's either metal clips, maybe some wood that's drilled in. Just check it out and see what you have. In our case, we had wooden mounting brackets, and so those were very easy to remove.
Now you want to have an extra set of hands there because in case that's the only thing holding the sink in place, you don't want that to fall down. For us, we had both silicone and those mounting brackets, so it was stuck on there really good. I think it took us about 45 minutes just to break the seal to finally be able to remove that sink.
It took us 45 minutes to think about how we were going to remove that hardened silicone. You want to use a utility knife to break the initial seal of that silicone. Usually that's not enough though, so get a putty knife as well and help pry it down.
Now if you don't have granite countertops, be careful when removing that because that silicone, if it is attached to something like pressed wood, you could possibly pull chunks out and then that's going to make it an issue for you to reattach your new sink. So just take extra care when doing that.
We found that using some acetone helped soften some of that silicone, made it a little bit easier.
Yeah. So now it is time to install the new sink. Here is a tip that's going to be a huge saver for you. Grab something that can lift that sink up into place. For us, we used 2 5-gallon buckets and that helped lift it up because you have to remember you're going to be reaching down from the top of the counter to grab that sink. If you have to reach all the way down to the base of the cabinet, that's going to be a little bit difficult. So elevate that sink a little bit.
With the sink elevated on those buckets, you can put your fresh bead of silicone caulk on the new sink.
Apply a bead around the outside top lip of the sink. Don't over apply it because you might end up with a bigger mess that you have to clean up.
Another way to help secure, we've got a squeeze clamp, fished it through the drain hole and got a piece of scrap wood to go across the opening of the countertop and a little scrap piece to protect the underside of the sink. We fished through, did a little squeeze on it, and it helped snug the thing in place while we got the actual sink lined up.
Once you have the sink set in place where you like it, now you can give it the full squeeze. Again, make sure to check for any silicone that has oozed out of the side, and a small clean rag can wipe that away pretty easily.
Be sure not to over tighten the clamp because you don't want to dent the bottom of the sink, but just give it enough to where you feel like it's snug against the countertop. You're going to wait overnight for the silicone to dry, but the next day you're going to need to reinstall the mounting bracket. So in our case, we used some scrap wood and it made our own. They looked like little stone hinges. And so the one piece was enough to fit across the lip of the sink and touch the countertops. The others were lengthwise down so that we could screw them in under the sink to screw into the cabinet wall.
Now you want to make sure on that back edge where the faucet holes are to keep enough room to not only allow the water lines to come through, but you are also going to have to reinstall that faucet. So don't make those clamps too big where you won't be able to reach with a tool or your hand to tighten that faucet back into space.
Good point. And the final step is just putting all the plumbing that you removed back in place.
We really love how much drama this sink brought into this room. It has taken the existing granite that had hints of gold and copper already in the stone, and it has really elevated that and allowed that to shine that much more.
And as promised, let's take a look at some of the other renovations we did down here.
First, we started by scraping all of the popcorn off of the ceiling. It's a messy task, but it's a pretty easy one if you get the knack of it. I do have a video on that if you want to check that out.
Don't eat that popcorn though, right? That's not the popcorn we're talking about.
No.
We're talking about eating that.
After that, we removed a partial section of the upper cabinets, leaving just one in place where we house the microwave.
Next, we had to take down all the beadboard.
And we found a surprise behind that beadboard. This was a time capsule that transported us all the way back to Pizza Hut with the horrible wallpaper and this flooring that was
like a brick, print, fake brick, linoleum, awful.
We installed some lights above the sink, and then we also laid down some luxury vinyl tile over that ugly old linoleum. Now, there is a full blog post on how we installed that luxury vinyl plank over on the website. If you want to check that out, I will make sure to link to that in the description below.
But in true Noting Grace fashion, this genius came up with an idea to reuse the old flooring that was covering the linoleum in the design of this project.
We gave it a fresh coat of paint and used it as a tongue and groove backsplash, and it turned out to be absolutely stunning. We painted it the same color that we painted the base cabinets and are so happy with how it turned out. In fact, we even used these boards in a ceiling project, making a plank ceiling in our boys' bathroom. I will also link that in the comments below.
The last thing to do was install the appliances, microwave and a mini fridge.
So do you think that you could do this project yourself?
Absolutely.
We say yes. Yeah, we got it done in just a short weekend, and if we can do it, then you can do it.
For sure. Thanks for watching.
We hope you enjoyed this video. We do have new projects on the horizon. In fact, another kitchen that we are currently working on, and we will be having some new videos coming out very soon. So be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next video that is coming out really soon.